When you ask professor and author Mary Gordon about her childhood, she first answers with facts.
I was born in 1949 in a hospital in Queens. I was actually then brought up in Long Island.
Then she quickly follows up with all-important context.
It was a community which was absolutely defined by and centered around the Catholic Church. So it was the post-war triumphalist, anti-communist immigrant church. I had no relations other than the most perfunctory with any non-Catholics till I was 17 years old.
During her life as a professor and author, Mary Gordon has never been reluctant to criticize many policies of the Vatican, but she emphasizes that her childhood religious experiences shaped her in many positive ways.
I'm not nostalgic and I don't want to go back to the Latin Mass, but there was a way in which that Latinate prose, which I heard from a very early age, very rhythmic, very formal, very melodious, was very important to me. And there was a sense of grandeur and a sense of splendor. Being in church was a place where I could be safe, happy, and serious, and I experienced real beauty.
Mary Gordon ended her formal Catholic education when she entered Barnard College, and she uses a religious concept to describe the experience.
I thought when I walked through the gates of Barnard that I died and gone to heaven. It was 1967, and everything was open to me, and I was encouraged. It was a moment of extreme, and I would say gospel liberation for me. I thank God that I came of age in the age of feminism, because I just can't imagine where I would be without it.
Over the past 40 years, the woman who, as a little girl, wanted to be either a nun or a writer has succeeded at the latter goal with almost a dozen books, both novels and nonfiction. One of Mary Gordon's books deals with Joan of Arc, the 14th century French heroine and saint of the Catholic Church.
I had a statue of Joan of Arc that I slept with when I was a little girl. And it was just this woman knowing she was right and not being afraid and standing up to everybody. That was a very important model for me. I think that notion that you hold nothing back, that you give everything, even to the point of death, is a very important part of a Catholic habit of mind.
In her book, Reading Jesus, Mary Gordon explores the four Gospels. She says reading Scripture with her writer's eye and sensibility has increased her appreciation of the Bible.
First of all, it is the source of many, many images, like the prodigal son. I can see that son and that father. I mean, Moses and the burning bush. I mean, the bush that burns and burns and burns and is never consumed. The terms, again, are large. They include some of the darkest and the brightest experiences that human beings can have. It is a witness to all the varieties of ways of being human and all the varieties of relationships one can have with God.
Mary Gordon says another significant context for her literary work is motherhood.
I have 2 children. I now have a grandchild, and I think it's important to remember that most of the writers in the world have not been mothers. And so I felt like I had an incredible opportunity to bring a new perspective into literature at the same time that it was demanding, and I was often very tired. But I worry that young women think they can't do both, that they can't have it all. And what I want to say to them is it's better to be tired than bored and frustrated.
Thy word, saith David, is my life.
Mary Gordon serves as a mentor to young writers in her role as the Millicent C. McIntosh Professor in English and Writing at her alma mater, Barnard College in New York City.
Teaching that I do at Barnard is wonderful. Teaching gives you hope. And then you see these fabulous young people, and they care about the same things that you cared about when you were 18. Well, I think I have the best job in the world.